what factors influence your having a memory problem?
Usually when men like you are screaming at me or grilling me, or someone like Travis doing the same.
You weren't going to put up with that either, were you?
Put up with what?
Well, what is it that we're talking about here?
Which part put up with?
Were you going to put up with what we just talked about? Are you having problems understanding again what's going on?
Sometimes, because you go in circles.
Yes or no?
I was saying no when you interrupted me. That's not what I said. Am I allowed to tell you what I'm trying to say? If I passed a lie detector test, would that help you?
Could help you.
You're so weird anyway.
It is time for our Behavior Bureau. Back with my co-host this week, psychologist Michelle Ward. And Michelle, I really want to pick up with that question you left me off with, which was, how do I manage patients like Jodi? And look at the prosecutor trying to deal with her slipperiness. So they're slippery, and then poor Dr. Samuels found out how sort of porous they are, can suck you into things. I want to talk about that. She seems to find fault with others, but then kind of works them in interesting ways. You agree with me?
Well, absolutely. And when I look at that tape, I want to scream, who the heck do you think you are, girl? But then I have to remember, this is so typical. This self-love, this narcissism, and then highly critical of everyone else. This is how she got away with convincing herself it was okay to kill Travis. He had it coming, like you've said before.
He had it coming.
And I'm
That's
justified.
Right. And I'm in denial that something bad could happen to me because of it, because of all that thinking about how justified she was in the behavior.
And important. She's important.
Joining us to discuss this, psychologist Judy Ho, also Patty Wood. She's the author of Snap, Making the Most of First Impressions. Forensic psychologist Cheryl Arrett is still with us. So, Cheryl, here's this woman. She killed her ex-boyfriend, and yet she's still sitting in judgment of others. Do you agree with Michelle?
I totally agree with Michelle. I think that she can sit back and kind of point out all these things that other people are doing. It's like, hello, look what you just did. And it's kind of like gaslighting. You know that movie where it's an old movie, but the guy tries to make the girl think she's crazy by denying her reality? This is what Jodi does with people. If she acts like things are totally normal and no big deal that she's doing, you're supposed to go along with it. But she likes to focus on other things that people are doing to throw them off base. Yeah. You guys, you know what I want to do? I want to start compiling a list of the sort of strategies that somebody like Jodi uses so people can start to understand this. People keep asking, how was this possible? But slipperiness, gaslighting, Patty, you want to add to that list?
Yes, she takes great delight in this. That duper's delight, that little grin on her face that I think is really going to hone in for the jury. She enjoys the process. Now, Martinez does a really good job with that back and forth body language of wearing her down so she can't perform. You notice that behaviors for most of her testimony was, here's the question, let me answer it to the jury. Here's the question, turning away. He draws her in. So she had to attack. That was her technique this time. She had to attack him.
Interesting. And Judy, thank you for joining us on our panel here. You get what I'm talking about here in terms of how my nurse, again, I'm talking about me going to a room with a patient like Jodi. My nurse would always say, they're like an octopus. They'll come out and they'll get you and they suck you in. Help people understand what that is.
Well, Dr. Drew, it's exactly what she's doing. She's sucking everybody in and just having them play into her little games. I mean, here we see Jodi just denying the things that are the worst about herself and putting them on everybody else. And she seems very comfortable with that, but that is absolutely a well thought out, preconceived strategy that she's using. But she is getting frustrated and she is getting a little bit floundered because that's why there's so much rage in the way that she's kind of coming back at the prosecutor, because she is so shaken by it.
Okay, and the rage, and then we got tears, sobbing during the police interrogation, sobbing on the stand. I think we have some footage of this, control room. Can we, let's watch this.
Ma'am, were you crying when you were shooting him?
I don't remember.
Were you crying when you were stabbing him?
I don't remember.
How about when you cut his throat? Were you crying then?
I don't know.
You're the one that did this, right?
Yes.
I think you're feeling the reality in the moment now.
No, I'm just feeling all of the things that I'm going to potentially miss out on. And my dad is not doing well. He doesn't think he has very long to live. My grandparents aren't getting any younger, and I just have an awesome family.
Jodi.
I actually think that was a genuine question from Martinez, which is, what are you crying about? You're the one that did these horrible things, right? Judy, pick it up there.
Well, she is deflecting like crazy, Dr. Drew.
Right.
She is just putting it back because once the attention is on her, never mind the fact that she murdered somebody, all of a sudden it's, oh my goodness, poor me, I'm the victim. Now I'm going to lose out on this fun time that I could be having with my family, and they're not feeling well, and they're aging, and oh no. And she's just really pulling at the heartstrings and trying to create the smoke screen right now.
Right, it's it. What gaslighting, as Cheryl said. And
right.
Patty, does the language bear that up, the body language?
Absolutely. Babies start fake crying about 8 months, and Jodi continues to use fake tears. Real tears, your eyebrows go up, there's a pouting of your lips, and you notice the sound. The words are very logical, and when you're really crying, your neocortex is not involved in the process. You can't speak logically like that. So there's a real disconnect from the tears, the fake tears, and what she's saying as well that signify that they're fake.
Michelle, put a little button on that for me, will you?
Well, you know what? People study, people like Jodi have this saying that a psychopath or somebody like Jodi without a conscience, they can learn the words of an emotion, but they never learn the music of an emotion. And that's what Patty's kind of saying. She knows what to say, she knows what to do, but she does not really feel it.